my name's Elise, and in this video we are going to be doing a Coleman cabin tent review. This week's travel review is sponsored by CarryClipss. Thank you so much for joining me for this review. We'll be going over the Coleman cabin tent review in this video. It also has an optional Rainfly accessory that we'll be looking at as well. Alright, so if you have not already seen the rest of the videos in this series, go ahead and click the link in the description of this video to watch the entire playlist where I go over 5 different pop-up tents and why you should or should not be using them. You will also find a link in the description of this video where you can buy the tent and the Rainfly accessory. Without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Alright, so this particular tent comes with a nice bag with a cinch strap. This bag is actually sized pretty decently for the tent that you're going to be putting in it, which is really nice. You don't have to struggle quite as much as some of the other tents we reviewed with getting it put away. I'm going to go ahead and pop it open and let's get this bad boy set up. So you're going to pop the straps and then you're going to unzip it. This one also does come with 2 zippers, so if one of them ever was to bust, you have a second option. And the zipper itself is pretty strong compared to the zippers on the other bags that I have reviewed. Okay, so this tent does come with 2 tie straps and a bag of stakes. And I'm going to stand up to assemble this tent. It is actually very similar to 2 of the other tents, but this is the much heavier duty version than those tents. So we are going to pick this up. We're going to let the legs drop out to the side, like so. And then we're simply going to take the center and lift up. Just like that. This tent is, again, a very similar construction as far as how it works, but the poles are much heavier duty. The fabric is much thicker. The floor material is actually a tarp. I would buy that this could be waterproof. Anytime you have a tent that's supposed to be waterproof, you're always best to add additional waterproofing to it. But this particular tent seems like it could actually be waterproof, which is kind of nice compared to the other tents we've looked at in this review series. It is also much heavier. So if portability is an issue for you, the size and weight of this particular tent may be a problem. All right, so now that we've got this up, we are going to extend the legs. So to do that, you are going to pull down until you hear a click. You're going to do that on all 4 legs. All right, now as you can see, this tent is much taller than the other tents we have reviewed. Just gonna turn it so you can see the door. It has windows on all sides and then a door on one side. The door unzips, and then there's another zipper attached to the door on the inside that is a separate zipper. And then each window has its own unzipping ability from the inside of the tent. The reason I'm pointing this out is because the other tents we've looked at, there was no way for you to cover and uncover the windows without using the Rainfly accessory. So you would have to get out of the tent to do that. In this tent, you can actually open and close these windows and doors from inside the tent. There is also a little vent here that even in the case of rain, unless of course it's horizontal rain, would protect your openings, which is really nice. That is pretty much this tent. As I said, the floor does appear to be waterproof. It's a much thicker material than any of the other tents we've reviewed. If you are looking for a tent to withstand the wind, rain, all of the elements, this is the tent I would recommend. And if you are definitely going to be in rain, I would highly recommend getting the Rainfly accessory, which we will put on now. All right. And the Rainfly accessory also comes with a bag of stakes. Now this particular Rainfly does not actually cover anything. As you can see, I can still access the windows, I can still access the doors. And again, anytime you're talking about waterproofing with a tent, I would highly recommend you putting your own waterproofing on it as well. But this fabric is significantly thicker than any of the other Rainflies that we've looked at so far. So if you need something that will work in the elements with wind, rain, all of that stuff, you might even be able to get away with snow on this one, this is the tent for you. If you don't need those things and you want something that is super fast to put up and down, I've got another one for you. Go check out the playlist to see that particular review. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, before I start taking this down, I want you to comment right here on this video with heavy duty. This is the heaviest duty tent that we are going to be going over. So tell me right now that you understand this is the heaviest duty tent that we're looking at by commenting heavy duty. Don't forget to click the link in the description to see the rest of the tents so you can figure out if maybe another one is better for you if that's not your top priority. But now, let's take this one down. So you can leave the Rainfly on like I've advised with the other tents when you take this down to keep everything together. I am actually going to take the Rainfly off in this instance. And now it comes to taking the tent down. So on each of the legs in this tent, there is a little silver button. If you push that button, it will allow you to take the legs down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk around to each one and push the silver button. I'm actually going to zip this closed again as well. Okay. So now that we have done that, we are going to pull up on the tent to get everything to collapse. And this one, I always get confused on this one. Okay, so each of these legs can be pushed down. Come out. Okay, so to take this tent apart, you kind of have to push on all the legs to make them go down. Like that. So this one is a lot more difficult to deconstruct once you get it up, but that's because it's heavy duty, which is why you like it for the weather and elements. Once you get it down, you're going to hold it like so, pull in all the legs. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down so it doesn't try and pop back open on me. And then fold in the final leg. Now, as you can see, I have a big pile of fabric at this point, so we are going to try and pull all this fabric in using the tie straps that were given to us, and then get it put back in the bag. Now you can hear that this is a tarp. It just sounds more heavy duty than the other tents that we've done, and that's because it is. All right, so I've put the tie strap under. I'm now going to try and tie it. This one does not have little clips or anything. You have to actually tie this, but it is a very heavy duty strap, so you shouldn't worry too much about it, coming apart or anything like that. You may want to replace it with a bungee or something like that, but you can definitely use what's included in the bag. And I do recommend using a quick release knot if you can, so that it'll be easy to take this off later. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself with a difficult time in the future. All right, so same thing on the other end. Now, one of the things I don't like about these kinds of tents is what you see right now. In order for me to get this all cinched together, I have to basically put this tent all over myself. I've never found a great way of folding these down without getting dirt all over yourself. So if that's something that you would like to do, make sure you watch the rest of the videos in the series where I will show you 2 tents where you don't have to do that. All right, so we've gotten that all tied up. Now comes the extra fun part, trying to stick it in the bag. Now in this one, I like putting the extra fluffy end in the side that has the more closed end, because that side is going to be harder to squish in with the zipper. And then the side with that middle pole, which is how we pull the tent up, goes on the side with the more open side. All right, so now we start zipping. Once you get past the part where the cinch is, you can go ahead and cinch it to make it a little easier to zip up the rest of the way. When you get to the end, it's all about maneuvering to try and get that end piece in. And you may need to pull the zipper from the other side to get them to meet up somewhere if you can't get that zipper around. All right, once that is all closed, make sure you do the 2 cinch straps if you haven't already. There you go, that is the Coleman Cabin Pop-Up Tent review. There is a link in the description of this video to purchase that on Amazon. There is also a link in the description to the other tent reviews that I have done. Make sure to live your dream every single day, and I will see you in the next video.